Thank you. Oh, look at that. Back into the residential neighborhood. Eastbound 7-5. I had a Tahoe like that. Go, 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 hustle. Ah, you missed it. I was just, the officers were trying to do spike strips. Oh, so the Chevy can go. It can go. It's just he's driving it slow. What's he doing now? Is he threatening parked cars? I know, but he's like swerving. It's like he's threatening parked vehicles. Maybe it came to a stop. I don't know what's going on here. All right, this is one of the ones where I got to tell you guys, I got to be very cautious at the end. Gosh and Samo, thank you. Just letting you guys know that this all started with a man with a gun. His disposition, kind of unknown to us right now. I'm not saying it is because you just don't know. But this might be one of those situations where maybe it's suicide by cop, or maybe there's going to be some sort of confrontation. So being very cautious on the Zoom, being very cautious when this thing comes to an end. We don't want to put anything, let's just say, less than televisable. Is that even a word? What's this going on? This guy's mad. He's like, oh, is that what they're saying? Hey, what's up? Hey, what's up? All right. What? I'm surprised the officers are letting those the family members get that close to the vehicle. Yeah, but still, it's like the fact that they're that close. You'd think that somebody would go over there and be like, hey, 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 hey. Again, we're not 100% sure that these are family members. But obviously, he came to this location. He did stop. He's got his window down. He is communicating with them. But apparently this all started with a man with a gun call inside of a vehicle. It was a pursuit for a while. The vehicle stopped, and then there was a standoff, as it would be, and then it started up again. Yeah, what's up, Juan? Yeah, those are the reports are that he lives on. Is this 7-9 or 7-5? All right, let me. Yeah. Fig and 75th. So this is 75th. Yeah, that's basically where we are. My gosh, the whole neighborhood is here. I'm listening to Juan. Yeah. Oh my goodness. And see, this is one of the things too with law enforcement that you always got to think that they have. It's one of the situations that they have to deal with. So now they're going to have to start dealing with crowd control. And a lot of these folks, they're just showing up here. They might not have all the information. They might not have all the facts. And then, that's when the confrontation starts, because the officers, obviously, they want everybody out of here. They want to keep the area safe for the pedestrians, civilians, the neighbors, as it would be. Uh-oh, I heard that noise. Well, this that has kind of come to a breakout here once again. This is not the first time it stopped, though. This is going to be the second time it stopped. The original call, though, was a man with a gun inside that red SUV that you see right there. When the officers approached it, it was a short pursuit, then it was a standoff, then the pursuit started up once again. They did... and apparently at one point they actually were using spike strips, and that's the reason why he has one flat tire on the front, on that front passenger side. Sorry, there's so many people talking at me right now. Basically, as we understand it, there is a firearm, or there is a weapon inside that vehicle. This is going to be at 75th near Figueroa, and as we understand it, that's the area that this vehicle is registered to, and apparently this might actually be the suspect's home. Just before you came to us live, this vehicle came to a stop here. There was only one or two folks out on the street, and they were trying to talk to the driver. They're trying to get him to basically give up the weapon, go into custody, but apparently that wasn't actually happening. Right now, though, a bunch of people out there, they're kind of being a little bit unruly and mocking the officers. Now, this is one of those situations where you just got to think the law enforcement is, what are they supposed to do? They need to take this guy into custody. You've got an entire neighborhood out here basically surrounding that suspect. They have weapons drawn. They don't want to injure anybody on the street. And of course, if they started using any kind of force to move these folks, that would start this entire confrontational type of situation, and that could escalate into something else. Right now, though, technically, still a standoff.
And Stu, when we look at this is so dangerous, as you mentioned. They don't want to injure any of these people who are on the street, but they don't know what the intentions of the rest of these people are either.
That's right. And, the intentions, that's the one thing. But a lot of these folks, they might not even have the whole story. Some of these people, they might know this person personally. Maybe they don't. But this is an armed suspect. It is pretty much confirmed that he has a weapon inside the vehicle. The weapon actually was on his lap at one point, that's what we were hearing. And then, that's the reason why they wanted to pull this person over. We've been been concerned about his mental state. We don't know if this is a situation. Why does he have the gun? Why does he have it in his lap? Why is this all happening? And then, of course, with the officers and the taunting of the officers, it was kind of an unusual situation that's really turned into a really unusual situation. Almost a street party type of attitude down there, mocking the officers. It would almost be kind of, dare I say, even funny to watch if it wasn't so serious. Right now, though, the neighborhood kind of coming out onto the street. This is going to be on 75th near Figueroa. That red vehicle you see right there was being pursued by LAPD. The man in the driver's seat, the only person in the vehicle, as they understand it, with a gun. Right now, though, the LAPD, they're still here. They've got the standoff going on. A lot of these officers still have weapons out. But the driver of that vehicle refusing to get out. One flat tire from spike strips earlier on when it was in pursuit, when it was on Vermont. Vermont seemed to be the street of choice for this suspect. Right now, though, I'm sure the officers, they just want these folks out of the way. They just want them to get out of harm's way so that they can do their job, take this guy into custody. But right now, though, you can see the situation very tense. And what does LAPD do? How do they handle a situation like this? Very difficult indeed.
Indeed, it is a difficult situation, Stu. And a question here, we were talking about this man with a gun in his lap. Why did they pull him over, or want to pull him over in the first place? Was because they spotted this gun, or was it something different altogether?
Well, all those details, I always get, we hear this, we hear that, but the way it was explained to me was the vehicle was stopped someplace. The driver had the weapon. Somebody called LAPD. When the officers arrived, this person fled the scene. That was the first part of this pursuit. It went on for a short time, and then the vehicle pulled over. Officers, it was a standoff type of situation. They were actually talking about getting beanbags to break the windows in that vehicle. And then, for some reason, unknown to us, the driver basically took off again. It started up again. But this time, LAPD, they were in the area. They had that vehicle. Basically, they had officers in the area so they could use spike strips. They had the spike strips available. They got him out there in front of the vehicle, and you can see the passenger side, that tire completely shredded. But he kept driving on it for a little while, up and down Vermont, making U-turns, but then made his way over here to 75th near Figueroa. And now you can see this standoff. And look at the number of people out here just kind of showing up on the sidewalk in the area. So this is a very difficult situation for LAPD. And even if the guy would just voluntarily get out of that vehicle, now all of a sudden you have an issue of crowd control. We don't know how the neighborhood's going to react to this, and we don't know. And of course, LAPD, they are very sensitive to these situations, and they don't want to make it worse than it is, but they have to do their job.
And Stu, we've seen a number of people approach the driver, and it looks like they're actually talking with him. You said that he might be from this neighborhood. It's likely that some of them might know him and might be trying to convince himself to give up.
Well, there he goes.
Oh, he's taking off again.
Pretty much over. Yeah, the vehicle just kind of moving off on its own, and that kind of shows
people
you
jumping
too,
out of the way,
making these crazy turns. Look at that, and they're trying to block the officers. It looks like he kind of got stuck. He was trying to get his way through this alleyway, and basically got himself stuck. Yeah, there he goes. He's pushing his way through there, making his own lane, as it would be. But you can see how the neighborhood basically blocking the vehicles, and that's not what the LAPD wants to see. That's not what officers want to see. The car now starting to move again on its own. But to answer that earlier question, right now, the LAPD, they just want to bring this guy into custody. They want to make this thing come to an end. You asked how do they know that this is where he lives. Apparently, that vehicle registered to a home here on 75th Street. So that's the reason why they believe that the suspect lives here. And when he first arrived, there was only 2, maybe 3 people. And then more and more and more folks came out, probably because of the lights and sirens, and maybe even the helicopters overhead.
Boy, he's just having trouble moving that vehicle. You could see the passenger side front wheel is just shredded, and officers getting in position now, but they're very careful. They're not going to get in front of that vehicle, Stu.
They're not going to get in front of it. And just the fact that he has a weapon inside that vehicle makes it very, very difficult. If he even moves that weapon, or an officer sees that weapon. Oh, okay.
See some officers there on the right.
Yeah, now we're hearing that he may have actually handed that weapon off at some point to some folks in the crowd. That's what we're hearing right now. So he may not have that weapon, but this is the issue. If he gestures as he has a weapon or makes some kind of move where an officer feels threatened, of course, I mean, it's one of those things. It's these are officers of the law, but again, they are human beings. And they need to protect themselves, and so that's how these situations escalate so quickly. Right now, though, you can see some sort of dispute. I don't know if these officers are telling him to keep driving or to move away, because these officers in the line of fire right now. So a very difficult situation for LAPD. Again, it just like it keeps adding it. How many times have I said that? This just becomes more and more of a problem for the law enforcement. It's like, how do they're handling all these different types of situations, just trying to get this one person into custody.
Indeed, in the field that they are working in right now, Stu, incredibly narrow. Now that they're in this alleyway right off of Figueroa, you can see right there the community, people who live in the area there still gathering there at the site of all this, and police, as you see there, keeping them at a distance, because earlier we saw them kind of interfering with the police investigation and the apprehension of this driver wanted for apparently having a gun in his vehicle. And right now it looks like this truck is stuck or not moving. And to the right, you see some officers, as you were saying, Stu, motioning him to continue moving forward.
Looks like the door's open and he might be getting out.
out.
Yeah, it looks like hands out of the vehicle.
Yep.
So they've got him in a good position where they don't have any other people from the neighborhood caught in the crossfire if anything happens here. But again, this looks like this could be the end of this police pursuit. A driver in the red SUV will show you the crowd that is gathered here in South Los Angeles. This is just off 75th near Figueroa. The suspect is a man with a gun, although Stu says he might have handed that gun off to someone just a little while ago. But we're watching now, as you are, as it appears the suspect is giving up and complying with the officer's commands.
That's right, and this is definitely what all these officers wanted to see. This is how they wanted to bring this to an end. Basically, just getting out here, still some gesturing, still some resistance going on right there. You can see that. But these officers over here, this is a different situation. Now, you have to always remember, law enforcement, a lot of this is tactical. And this is not a good tactical situation for officers. They have a large crowd behind them. They have a large crowd, they have a possibly armed suspect in front of them. They're in this tight area, this alleyway right here. I'm sure these officers are on high alert. Their senses are like totally being like 110% right now as they're going to take this guy into custody. And we're going to keep an eye on him. But they also, you don't know how that crowd is going to react when those cuffs go on and they bring him over to the vehicle. Hopefully everything is just going to be calm, but right now you can see that the officer's taking him into custody, and if he does resist, which it looks like he is, it just adds to this entire situation. Everybody starts getting stressed and worried, and then the crowd might see something that they might not find to be, let's just say, peaceful. And so this is what they're dealing with right now.
Yeah, resisting just a little bit, Stu, but it does look like the suspect in this pursuit and the standoff that followed there is now in custody. And we, of course, are going to have more coming up for you on KCAL 9 News at 4 o'clock. For now, I'm Juan Fernandez along with Sandra Mitchell. Thanks for watching along with us.
This has been a KCAL 9 News special report. We now return to our regularly scheduled programming. Local is stories that affect you.
Neighbors are waking up to a water main break.
Local is breaking news in your community.
Wow, not only did he stop, he left it in gear.